Welcome back. This is round 2 of our wine training session here, and we're going to be talking about semi-dry wines from Chateau Chantal. I'm Marie. We've got Mark Johnson, winemaker, and Bill, tasting room manager, with us, and we're going to begin with the 4 wines that are listed about halfway down the tasting sheet, starting with Celebrate, our sparkling wine. And this is a semi-dry sparkling wine that has a lot of strawberry and fruit cocktail notes to it. It pairs delightfully with appetizers, fruits, and cheeses.
As with all of our sparkling wines, the acid is higher than with the normal wines. The residual sugar on this is 3%, so it is semi-dry, or demi-sec, as they say in Champagne. It is 6.5 grams per liter of acid, which is not high for sparkling wines, but a little higher than we would expect on some of these semi-dries. And the alcohol is 12.3%. I do want to point out that we do have the word champagne on the front. By law, it has to be prefixed with another appellation so as to not confuse people as to the Champagne region of France. In our case, Old Mission Peninsula Champagne. And then also on the back, it says produced and bottled by Chateau Chantal, Paw Paw, Michigan. This is also a requirement by the TTB that the place where the wine is bottled is on. This is our wine. We grew these grapes. We made the wine here, but we don't have the sparkling wine bottling capability. And so we take it in a truck down to St. Julian in Paw Paw, and they bottle it for us because they have the counter-pressure bottling system. It's 100% our wine and state wine, but bottled there, and by law, the town where it's bottled has to be on the label. So we simply give St. Julian a DBA of Chateau Chantal, and they bottle it for us.
Right, and with this wine, it's not just good for appetizers throughout the year. Anything you eat during the summer, during the hotter months, is likely a great pairing with this wine. And I say it time and again that whether you're drinking wine for the first time or you've been making the stuff for years, you're likely to heartily agree Celebrate is very well balanced.
The next wine we're going to talk about is our semi-dry Riesling. This, of course, is a semi-dry white with notes of Granny Smith apple and lime. Riesling, for us, is the classic grape varietal for our cool climate Old Mission Peninsula viticulture. It handles our cold winters and shorter growing season well, while still producing ripe to super ripe grapes of exceptional quality. Many wine experts believe Riesling is the best wine to pair with food because of its bright acidity. We like to pair it with our smoked whitefish pâtés, Asian cuisines with a little bit of spice to them, and of course fruits and cheeses.
The natural acidity of the Riesling grape, and then accentuated by our cool climate, gives the wine the structure that it needs to be able to stand up to some residual sugar. The residual sugar on the semi-dry is 1.75%. The acid, as is often typical with Rieslings, is over 10% at 10.4, so very high acid. And without the residual sugar, it would probably have quite a bite to it. So it needs that sugar to balance it. The alcohol, relatively moderate at 11.1%.
About as versatile as a white wine gets, if you ask me. When in doubt, reaching for a bottle of white wine, look for semi-dry Riesling, which is, I feel, easier to find these days per the International Riesling Foundation's encouragement to have a sweetness scale. Thank you. That's what I was looking for on the back, so that you're reminded that Riesling is not always sweet. It can be any style, and you're being informed exactly which style is in the bottle per where the arrow is on that scale. Thanks, Bill.
Next in line is our Naughty White wine. Naughty White is a semi-dry wine with a soft, fruity taste. It's made from a proprietary blend of aromatic grapes. This unoaked white makes a fantastic pre-dinner wine or served chilled with salads and, of course, fresh fruit and cheese.
The technical numbers on this. The residual sugar is 1.5%, which puts it at the low end of semi-dry. The acid is 7.75. The alcohol is 12.5%. This is the wine that winemakers take cases of home to always have a very, very pleasant white wine when company shows up.
And more often than not, some guests might be curious to know, what's in there. And I'm in the habit of just saying, well, pretty much the usual suspects as apply to the white grapes growing in the area. It's subject to vary, not from year to year because it's a non-vintage wine, but rather batch to batch. But it's safe in suggesting that there's usually going to be some Chardonnay or some Riesling, maybe some Pinot Grigio and or Gewürztraminer. But it's a proprietary blend, and I'm quick to suggest that, well, like it or not, you're only going to get it here.
And last in our semi-dry category is our Rosé Twilight. This is a semi-dry rosé made with a blend of red and white grapes with strawberry and watermelon notes. It pairs great with summer foods like BLTs, summer salads, and anything off the grill.
If you're lucky enough to have a boat and can get out on the bay, you want to take a bucket of this with you. The numbers here, the residual sugar is only 1%, and the reason for that is that the acid is relatively low at 6.5%. So keeping the balance in mind there, lower residual sugar, and the alcohol is 12.5%.
Such a fine example of a bottle of wine being summer in a bottle, for sure. And so it's so easy to refer to it as such. Such bright, summery fruits come to mind with this wine. And what a great example of a wine being more fruity than it is sweet. And I constantly like to point that out, that they're not one and the same as a lot of folks who come our way might be inclined to think of them. Here's a wine that's only semi-sweet, but so generously fruity.